Hey, everybody, how is it going? I hope you have all been having a fantastic day. I'm going to dive right in here and talk to you guys about something, and I'm gonna go into a little backstory, a little dive deep into what I was referring to the other day, and kind of all that scenario. Um, but before I do that, I wanted to say that I actually had something came about, and it because of this, because of what I do here, I've received a lot less conflict in my life. As funny as that sounds, with the things I've talked about on here, what I end up getting is a lot less is less conflict because even if I do have an negative interaction with somebody, it usually stops right there because they know that I'm going to end up talking about that interaction on here, and they don't want to have it happen a second and third time and possibly have the shit that they have said and done really truly revealed. And I find that funny because it's not intentional. For me, coming on here is it started out as a therapeutic thing. It turned into something else, and now it's going in a completely different direction. But I do come on here to speak my truth, to have conversations and discuss my life and the things going on and the real interaction with other people and the similar things that I go through that other people might deal with, the similarities there that kind of help. So there's a kind of a byproduct there that people, there might be a conflict and then people kind of back off of it, which I kind of find funny. Of course, in my life, there's the same usual suspects of people that they just kind of hang on the periphery. They're just kind of right there. It's it's kind of like someone on a border that they really can't get, a missile across. So they're kind of shooting like a little BB gun, and it's not doing any damage whatsoever, but it's more antagonizing and just aggravating than anything. But at the same time, I just kind of laugh it off. And then, there's other people that, just come in and out or whatever. You may have conflict with somebody, but I will say that generally my interactions with people are pretty fucking fantastic. I'm pretty grateful for that, but I do find it funny that when I do have these minor conflicts, one of the first fucking things that comes out of their mouth is, please don't talk bad about me on your show. And to me, that's fucking hilarious because I really don't think that anybody fucking cares about what I have to say. Like, I just don't think that, I mean, I know people do and I get messages all the time, but realistically, it's like what I'm doing here isn't, I'm not Fox News or CNN and stuff like that. I'm just talking about my life. And, I guess that's the part of it, that when I get into a story and I start getting descriptive, that I give these details, and it maybe not only destroys these people's view of themselves, but also other people's view of them. So I find that funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give backstory and some other information about what I was talking about the other day. So as you guys all know, as I've made clear on here, I was dating somebody. I actually talk about my dating life and my love life on here. I mean, I've talked about having kids and being married and divorced and dating and, different scenarios and shit like that. And so recently I was dating a woman. We met through Facebook. No, like real mutual friends that we knew. We just I came across her one day and sent her a friend request. We immediately started talking, hit it off. Things were great. So we dated for about 6 weeks. On here, and I had this conversation with her, was on here I would refer to her as my girlfriend. We weren't that far into the relationship to where you could say she was my girlfriend. Did we care deeply about each other? Absolutely. Did we have a good time? Absolutely. But the reason I would refer to her as my girlfriend on here was just so that the way my brain works, I didn't have to explain like the length of time. That's just the way my mind works. I'm going to feel obligated to explain how long we've been actually dating and stuff like that if I just don't say girlfriend and I move on down the road with what is really important with any part of the story. So there's a woman that we'd been dating for about 6 weeks. And it was kind of weird from the very beginning. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but she lived in another part, like a different suburb of Houston. Houston's fucking huge. So living in another suburb is not uncommon, but where I am and where she was kind of far away. And so, getting to see each other could be difficult sometimes, but what she was going through in her life, she had a lot going on. About 6 months ago, I guess she had broken up with a long-term boyfriend who she had been with for a few years and was actually somebody she had immediately started dating after she got divorced. I know what a lot of people say about that, but reality, hey, people, you meet somebody, you enjoy them, you enjoy their company. I don't think there was anything wrong with her dating a guy right after she got divorced and being she was in a relationship with the person for 3 years. And then, like I said, I think they were broken up for about 6 months by the time we met. And, and I say that we started talking one day and it took about a week and a half for us to actually meet in person. We met for lunch one day. And anyway, things were great. Things were fun. She was a good person. Lots of entertainment. Lots of good times. Taking her. She met some of my friends. I met some of her friends. Things were great there. But she had a lot going on, and without trying to get just deep dive into her details and all this other stuff, she. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go too crazy into anything, but she would, I'll fucking say, she was stressed out to the max all the time because of the different things happen in her life. And she had some really shitty friends in her life that were, they were just bad people. I've talked about that on here. To give backstory on that, she was living with some people. She had moved out and she hadn't gotten her own house yet, and she was living in the guest house of some friends of hers. Things went sideways. I have my own suspicions about that. I won't go into detail about those people, but I had been there, and there was a tremendous amount of drinking that would go on there. And so there was conflict. There was constant conflict that I saw, and I knew that they were having issues, and a lot of it resulted because they were always drinking. Not only the people that owned the house, but also her, and then they would have conflict. So much to the point, one time she accidentally butt dialed me. Her and I got into an argument, and she actually butt dialed me. And next thing I know, I hear her cracking open a can and talking, and is talking about me to these other people. So, I knew, I kind of saw that as an issue, kind of like consuming alcohol to kind of wash away some of your problems. And you guys know, I don't believe in that shit. I'd rather go to the fucking gym, do something productive than drink and waste good calories on that shit. I like to eat. But anyway, there was kind of those issues. And so anyway, she was going through a lot of different things, trying to get her life together, which I supported 100%. I thought it was fantastic. She's a good mom, really working hard to get things right. She had started a new job, fantastic opportunity for her. She's really moving things in the right direction, but there was a lot of kind of like ancillary stuff that would go on that would just stress her out. She didn't know how to deal with it properly. One thing I will say is she was not a good mom. She was a fantastic mom. And I think that's probably more important than anything else, was just she was a good mom. And so she knew how to do that right. But some of these other things she just didn't know how to do. And And so she would quite often come to me for kind of guidance and assistance, not asking for money or anything like that, nothing like that. Just simply, asking, just kind of talking through, venting, if you will. I guess somebody, the person you're dating, right? You're gonna vent to them and things like that. And I would sit there and listen, but it started becoming a repetitive type of situation where it was these external forces that she was allowing to interfere with her life that she wasn't eliminating. And, so there was a lot that was happening there. Well, a few weeks ago, the people she was living with, they started throwing all of her shit out of the house. She was already planning on, this was on a Sunday. She was getting the keys to her house on a Wednesday and I was going to start helping her move in on the following Friday. Well, on the Sunday before all this, these people start throwing all of her shit out of the house. They literally just take it to the front of the street and they're just leaving this shit on the fucking curb. And so I have to go over and help, and which I was more than happy to do, and get all of her stuff and help her move into storage and deal with that. But I was also on the phone when she doesn't remember, and I know those are the people who don't remember, is I was on the phone when she called me, and she walks in, and of course I know they had all been drinking. I'm just getting home from the gym. She walks in and gets into a fucking argument with these people, starts smarting off to them, and she doesn't even remember the shit she said, but I can remember it to this day, the stuff that she said to them. No wonder that they got into a fucking conflict, and they were like, hey, well, fuck you, get out of our house. Now, I'm not saying how they handled it was correct, the way they went about doing it. I mean, she's a single mom, just with really nothing, nowhere to go, and you're just going to toss her out. I mean, her kids have been staying there and stuff, so it's kind of fucked up. So anyway, I go and help her move all this stuff on a Sunday. The following weekend, which was not this past weekend, but last weekend, I spend my entire weekend, pretty much Friday, Saturday, Sunday, actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, helping her move into her new house. Now, kind of pissed me off. Thursday, I was supposed to go out there. We were going to pick up there were some things that she still had in storage, because all the stuff that got thrown on the street, we had to put in a storage unit on that Sunday. So on the following Thursday, I was supposed to go out there. I brought my trailer, and we were going to go pick up the remaining stuff from the storage unit. Instead of getting that done, she wanted to, because she was in training all day long, she wanted to sit down and have a drink at a bar in the same kind of complex as where their office was. And so and so I get there, and her boss and a couple other people that they had just met there are sitting there drinking. And so instead of us getting her shit done, she's sitting there having drinks. And I drove all the way out to where they are just to help. And I didn't go out there to have fucking drinks. I didn't go out there to do that shit. I went out there to help. Now, hey, am I all for relaxing and hanging out? That's cool. But when you got fucking responsibilities, you take care of your responsibilities before you go play. When you were a kid, your parents didn't let you just go outside and do every goddamn thing you wanted without taking care of your chores. Well, when you're an adult, your fucking responsibilities are a little greater. And when your shit is sitting in a storage unit and you got a house and you can't fucking sleep in your house because your beds and everything else are somewhere else, that's a fucking problem. And so what ends up happening is that we're over there for a couple hours, so we get pushed back. She's got a U-Haul truck in her driveway with all of her bed and her kid's bed and everything else. And so instead of emptying that, she wanted to sit over there and have these drinks and hang out, as she would refer to it, a beverage. My beverage is like a Monster or a fucking water, but like, hey, look, if you want to have a drink, that's cool. Buy you a fucking 6-pack of fucking Trulies or White Claws and let's go and pack this shit. So anyway, we end up not getting this done until like 7 o'clock at night. Her kids show up and everything, and they hadn't eaten, so I got to order Chick-fil-A. And then we start unloading her truck. I ended up, it took 2.5, maybe 3 hours to get done. I ended up not getting home till like 11 o'clock at night. All because of the, couple hours that wanted to be spent over at this bar hanging out. Again, fucking priorities and responsibilities. I talked about that a lot the other day. Priorities and responsibilities. And it was shit like this. I actually, the reason I decided to walk away was because her priorities, though well-intentioned, are fucked up. And so there was that. And so then come Friday, I actually had a spare washer and dryer in my warehouse that I hadn't used since 2018. So I picked up my washer and dryer and I took it. Because when I moved into this house, I bought a brand new washer and dryer. When I lived in my townhouse, it came with a washer and dryer. So I had this, really nice Samsung set of washer and dryer sitting in my warehouse. I was like, hey, look, you can use this. Great. So end up taking the stuff over to her on Friday, get it all set up for help get the house, kind of put together. Come back on Saturday, go get the remaining shit out of the storage unit, unloading a bunch of stuff, helping out with that. Then come Sunday, go back over there again and I'm putting beds together and I'm moving furniture around and doing a lot of shit. Oh, plus we used my trailer. She had to buy a new refrigerator because the place she leased didn't have a refrigerator. That's a whole other thing. Like, I get it. She was having to get out of this other place very, very fast, but now she puts herself and her kids into not a very, what I wouldn't consider nice. And I've lived in some shitholes. And that I'm just grateful for. And I know she's probably grateful to have a roof overhead. But when she goes and leases this place, it's a house. There's no fans. There's no refrigerator. There's no microwave. There's no washer and dryer. The fence on the backside of the house is leaning all the way the fuck over. There's a leak in the kitchen sink. Water just pouring out of that. All kinds of shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's literally paying more for this place than I paid for like a really nice house I leased in 2016. So I was just fucking blown away. And she just didn't pay attention to any of that because her mind was elsewhere. That I kind of got, but it's like, fuck. You're making a pretty big decision here. You should pay attention to shit. So we do that. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Sunday afternoon, after I've got finished putting her bed together and her daughter's bed, the one of the bolts, I'd actually put part of the bed together upside down. It still worked completely fine, but I had to make some changes to it. And when I went to go remove one of the bolts, it stripped out. And at this point, it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. I was frustrated. And I just looked at her, or actually it was like 5. And I just looked at her and said, look, hey, I'm kind of tired. I'm burnt out. Rather than me moving on to your son's bunk bed, which is very complex, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to take a break and just kind of call it a day. So she's like, yeah, go out, sit outside on the patio, which I thought was awesome. There's no patio furniture. So like we would just go sit in the grass against the fence and just kind of like enjoy the sun, which was really kind of fun and cute. I enjoyed that. The whole time she complained about not having patio furniture and it's like, fuck, you got a backyard. Like you got grass, you got sunny sky and anyway, so we're sitting out there, and of course she's been drinking, and she wants to start talking about my past. Now, bear in mind, day one, very first time we ever talked on the phone, I was honest with her, told her all about my past, place where I've been, being married, all that stuff. We talked about it literally the very first phone call that we ever had, because I don't like. I'm not the kind of person that's ever going to try to hide any of this shit. It's out here. So why am I going to keep it from anybody? So anyway, sitting out there and she's been drinking, and next thing I know, she wants to start talking about my past. And, you know, I kind of talked to her for about 5-10 minutes, and then I just said, look, I came out here really just to kind of relax and just kind of enjoy being like next to you in the sun. I really don't want to talk about stuff that has happened over the last 15, 20 years of my life. I don't mind talking about it, just not right now. Can we just relax for a minute? I've been working hard, you know, for the past 3 days, moving a lot of stuff. I mean, look, reality is, you know, she was a little girl. I don't mean that. She was a little woman. She was only 4'10", 100 pounds. She's not helping me pick up the fucking washer and dryer. She's not helping me move this refrigerator. I mean, I'm humping this shit around all by myself, carrying the mattresses and beds. Now, she did help with some of the mattresses, but like carrying the heavy shit, she couldn't really help me with. Like, it's me carrying almost all this stuff, putting it on a dolly. And, you know, she's got 2 kids who are fucking awesome, by the way. They're great kids. Smart kiddos. But, you know, I'm tired. So I was like, look, I really just don't want to talk about this. And she just wanted to keep digging. Well, I don't understand. I don't, you know. And so I start getting frustrated and finally get to the point where, like, I'm leaving. I don't want to sit here and get into a fight. And, of course, when you've got one person who's not drinking and one person who is, well, you guys know what ends up happening. You know, the other person, it's like continually antagonizing me. And I'm just like, look, I don't want to fucking fight, you know? And so anyway, I end up leaving. You know, we kind of had a little bit of an argument before I left. And so that's kind of how it was. Left on Sunday. She ends up texting me Monday morning because the refrigerator was leaking and water had leaked through the wall into the master bathroom from the kitchen. And so don't even address what took place on Sunday night. It was just gone. Nothing addressed. And then, you know, kind of like back to normal. And, part of the reason that things were kind of tense is because, when I met her and her boss at this place, as nice of a guy as he was, I mean, I'm a guy. I recognize shit. And I saw the way he was looking at her. And probably wasn't, you know, being whatever, inappropriate or whatever because I was there. But that doesn't mean that the thoughts aren't there. I could see the way this motherfucker was looking at her. So last week, a week before last, he calls her. Her and I are on the phone, and it's like 5:30, almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and he calls her. Which, you know, I mean, she gets off the clock at like 5. There's no fucking reason he should be calling her, and it's not like she has an office job. She's not a secretary or something to this guy. She's a salesperson. So there should be really no reason that this guy should be calling her at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So she ends up getting off the phone with me and taking the call from him. And when she gets back on the phone, she immediately tells me that he had just invited her to go to Austin City Limits Festival in Austin, VIP tickets for Friday and Saturday, and that she could stay with him. And she fucking agreed. Like, she just fucking agreed without having any discussion with me whatsoever. And then literally got mad at me because I wasn't just over the fucking moon about her getting to go to the Austin City Limits with her boss and staying in the same fucking house with him. Like, this is not a guy that she's known for years that's friends of the family or anything like this. This is a guy that she just fucking started working for a few months ago. And next thing I know, she's up and going to be going to fucking Austin. Now, this guy's going through a divorce of his own. And so he's staying with some friends. And I say, the guy's in his 40s. You know, the woman, she's, you know, 34. She's about to be 35. There's not like kids or nothing like that, but Like, she doesn't see anything like that. I'm a fucking guy. And I'm like, you don't, like, that's bothersome to me. Like, hey, and so I end up telling her, I'm like, hey, I'm happy that this was a bucket list item for you to go to the Austin City Limits. That's awesome. I've never been. I would love to go at some point in my life. So I think it's awesome you get to go. Hey, it's a bucket list. You're going to get to go see George Strait. That's fucking awesome. And you're going to literally be able to knock out 2 bucket list items in one fucking day. Cool. I think that's great. I don't like how the fucking scenario's taking place. I don't like the fact that you're going to be staying with this guy. So that was a bit of a conflict. And so anyway, Thursday, fast forward now to this past Thursday, a week ago, I'm sitting in my office actually having a conversation with my mother, and I get a text message from her. And the text message it's a screenshot she had sent me that her ex-husband, I guess, had found out that her and I were dating. And, you know, she said to me, she says, hey, look, I know that I was going to have to address this at some point with him, but I wasn't prepared to do it now. And I just don't think I can do this. Now, I get it. I mean, I'm not a fucking asshole. I mean, you can't force anybody to be with you. But, it was like all this other stuff was like building up, and I was like, oh, it's like, it's kind of weird. It's like all of a sudden she's doing absolutely nothing to alleviate stresses in her life. She's just kind of kicking the can down the fucking street. And so they're just all kind of building up, and it's a little bit more and more and more. And now what her husband sends her a screenshot of is screenshots of me, my past, my record, things like that. And so now there's just too much. When I've been honest with her from day one, and again, I can't fault her for doing, I guess, what's right for her. And I guess kind of the whole point of all this is that I don't blame her for doing what is right for her. It's how she went about handling it. Considering the generosity, the things I'd done, you know, how I'd helped her out. I'd helped in other ways as well that I won't even fucking get into. But considering all of that, instead of making an effort, so she was supposed to come see me on Thursday night before she went out of town. Obviously, that was off the plate as we were going to be deciding to kind of go separate ways. Totally fine. Apparently, you know, but that was the thing. She kept wanting to tell me how sad and upset she was by it. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know what you want me to say to you. You're the one doing this. You're literally the one doing this, not me. You're the one that has allowed your life to get out of control to the point that where you're not going to fix anything else going on. You'll just eliminate me from that. That doesn't mean that you're going to have less stress in your life. It just means you're not going to have me in your life. Okay. I mean, if that's your decision, that's your decision, but then don't try to defer your guilt onto me by telling me how bad you feel about it. Because I really don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care how bad you feel. Why should I have to feel bad because of something you're doing? I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing but be generous, genuine, and helpful as much as possible and honest. So, like, I just don't feel bad for you. Like, I don't feel bad at all. And, I mean, that may sound like a dickhead thing, but whatever. I don't fucking feel bad because I've done absolutely nothing wrong. Another part about being on here is the fact that I'm honest about every fucking thing. So it's not like anything is ever held back. Unless it's really asked. I mean, I try to be as nice as possible. But anyway. So, yeah, she keeps wanting to tell me how sad she is and how upset. And then now she's upset with me because I'm not just letting her off the fucking hook. Like, I said to her, hey, I understand what you're doing. I don't have to fucking like it, and I don't have to agree with it. I understand it because I'm a fucking human being. That doesn't mean I like it, and doesn't mean I agree with how you're going about handling it. And I said, hey, to some degree, it makes me feel like I'm disposable, which it does. I mean, I know that I'm not fucking disposable. I know that I'm not garbage, but at least it's on some level, it makes you feel like that. That's just how it is. I mean, you care about people. You know, I truly cared about the girl, you know. And I thought she was fantastic. I could see us going a long distance, years. I mean, my friends loved her. They thought she was fantastic. But I get it. I get it. You can't force somebody to do something in their life. And so I was never mad about her, but what I was starting to get upset with her was that she really didn't care how I felt about it. She really didn't care how it was making me feel. When I was the one that was really like, I'm kind of fucking stuck in the middle. Like, I'm just kind of stuck. Now, granted, hey, I take responsibility for the fact that I got myself involved and knew about some of these things, and I was still there. But I didn't expect to kind of be treated this way. And so, you know, what she couldn't understand was why I wasn't like letting her off the hook and say, hey, you know what? It's no big deal. It's okay. It's, you know, she couldn't understand why I wasn't acting that way. And then Thursday night, she calls me, and or actually, I end up calling her because she's in text. This is how it's kind of fucked up. She was acting pretty childish. In text, she was like, well, she wanted to call me, but only if I wanted her to, but that I can call her and the ball's in my court. So it was just like, again, kind of deferring the responsibility. She wants to kind of acknowledge that she has a part in it, but not really take the guilt and fault in anything. So it's like, hey, you know, I want to call you, but, you know, I don't think you want me to call you. So, but if you want to call me, you can go ahead and do that. You know, it's like, hey, if you want to fucking talk to somebody, just pick up the goddamn phone and call them. Be a grown-up. I mean, you're a parent. Act like a goddamn grown-up. I get it that you're only 4'10", but you're a fucking adult. Like, you may look like you're in fucking 6th grade, which I don't mean that in a bad way. The woman's beautiful. She was lovely. You know, I loved everything about her. She had a great body, all that stuff. I don't say that in a bad way, but just because you look like, you know, a smaller person or a younger person does not mean that you're not a fucking adult. If you want to talk to somebody, pick up the fucking phone and call them. And so again, you know, I'm not an ignorant person. I've spent a lot of time evaluating myself and really, you know, coming to know who I am. And so I see these things. I can see when people, because I used to do that shit. I fucking recognize it because I would do the same goddamn thing. Like, I would never fully take responsibility for everything. Well, that shit don't fucking fly for very long. Your life will come down on you fucking hard. Shit will fall apart. You may have a roof over your head one day, but I guarantee you it's going to be gone. Shit will fucking crumble because next thing you know, you may lose a job or something like that, or you get into a fight with, you know, ex, and next thing you know, it's, you know, your kids are being taken away. I've been down those fucking roads. So, you know, anyway, you know, she called me on Thursday, or I called her on Thursday night after that little, you know, roundabout little game. And so stupid. At 34, almost 35 years old, what she was concerned about, which I saw right through, was, number one, that she wanted to make sure we could still remain friends. Well, prior to us ever communicating on Facebook, we were never friends. We were never friends prior to, and it's like we had no mutual friends and no real meaning of staying friends afterwards. And I just flat out told her, I said, there's no way I could stay friends with you. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but I don't find it possible to stay friends with somebody you have been romantically involved with. For me, it would be impossible to remain that close of a friend or remain even superficially friendly with somebody you've had sex with and with the intention of dating and having things go south. Like it's not to say, hey, if I saw her on the street or something like that, I wouldn't say hi, but it's not like I'm going to, you know, hey, oh, how you doing? Is everything going great? You having No, it's how you doing? And keep on fucking walking. For me, I know that that's just easy because that's the best way to handle it for me, because I know emotionally I'm not going to do well. And I can acknowledge that. I'm not going to fucking do well. I'm going to get upset. And I flat out told her, I said, I know how things will go because I've done it in the past. I will try to be friends with you and it'll fucking eat me up, and all I'll sit there and do is worry about what you're doing, and I'll miss you and I'll be sad and I'll go into a fucking depression and I won't be good for anybody, and I won't do that because I got my mother, I got my company, I got all my employees, I got a bunch of other responsibilities. There's no fucking way that I'm going to curl up in a ball, go into a depression, and not be able to take care of business. So I said, I'm going to end that right here, right now. We cannot be friends. Now, am I going to be a dick to you? Absolutely not. But we can't remain friends. And I said, you're asking me to respect your decision that you're making for yourself. You're making what you call the best decision for yourself, for your life, and you're asking me to respect that. So I'm going to ask you to respect this. And until yesterday morning, she still hadn't been respecting that. So going about all this bullshit, I was very clear and honest about everything. And so she was planning to leave Friday morning to go to the Austin City Limits Festival and then would return on Saturday. Now, I had taken a whole bunch of my tools, about $1,000 worth of my tools, to her house to put shit together. I'd taken other stuff over there so I could help them hang pictures and do a bunch of other nonsense. And so I'd left that there thinking, hey, well, she's going to be back on Saturday. No big deal. I stayed over there actually Wednesday night, Thursday morning. She was supposed to be back on Saturday. No big deal. I'm going to leave my stuff there. Well, all this happens after I've been gone. Now I can't go get my tools. Again, she was supposed to come stay at my house on Thursday night. Doesn't. No big deal. But she's going to be gone Friday, come back on Saturday. I can get my tools. We even had that discussion on Thursday. I need to get my tools. I've got the fucking text messages. I need to get my tools. Let me know when you get back on Saturday so I can get my tools. Well, she leaves. And of course, what she do the very next day, she starts going on my Facebook and my Instagram. She's liking posts. She's watching my stories. I'm not looking at any of her shit. I know what she's doing. I mean, I can imagine she's posting stuff from ACL and she's wanting me to see it, and I'm not. I don't even fucking pay attention to it. So Saturday morning, I'm at the gym, leaving the gym, and I send her a text and I say, hey, let me know what time you're going to be home today so that I can come by and pick up my tools. She responds to me saying, oh, I was just about to text you. I'm actually going to go ahead and stay the night here tonight. I won't be home till tomorrow. And again, she doesn't fucking see. Like the reason I wanted my tools was because I needed to do shit here at my house. I was supposed to do stuff on Saturday and Sunday here at my house because the 2 previous weekends, I had spent the entire fucking weekend helping her with her shit. So I needed to do some stuff here around my house, so I needed my tools. Well, Saturday's gone and now it's Sunday because she won't be home till Sunday. And I'm letting her know, and she's like, I don't know why you're being so rude. Why are you being so rude? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're being inconsiderate. Like, you're not even thinking about me. I get that. Hey, it's cool. We're not together anymore. It's totally fine. But you're being fucking rude and inconsiderate. I did so much for you. The least that you could fucking do is ensure that I get my tools so that I can do the shit I need to do. I told you on Thursday that I needed my tools. I told you again, and I told you on Saturday. Even if you had decided at the time but when I text you that you weren't going to come home till Sunday, but I told you that I needed my tools and I reminded you of the conversation we had on Thursday and I showed you the fucking text messages we had on Thursday, a grown person who recognizes their responsibilities and what someone and the nice things that someone had done for them would have said, you're right. I'm only a couple hours away. I'm going to go ahead and drive. I wasn't really planning on staying here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and drive home. But, again, her life is so fucking stressful with so much going on. She got so much going on with so many things happening, but yet she can stay an entire fucking weekend at a concert. Yeah, her son's bed is not put together in their house. Their mattress is on the fucking floor, but yet the concert is more important than that. Because I was supposed to do my shit over here at my house on Saturday and Sunday, and then I was going to go back to her house Sunday afternoon and put her son's bed together for her. But her priorities and everything else is going on is so fucking crazy in her life that she can't deal with it. But so much to the fact that she can spend an entire weekend at a fucking festival. Hey, I get it. Hey, going to the concert and festival and that shit like that, it's fucking fantastic. But then you don't get to turn around and then be the goddamn victim and say that your life is so stressful and nothing ever fucking goes right. Well, yeah. Because instead of unpacking your goddamn storage unit, you want to sit down at a bar for 2 hours and drink. Instead of making sure your house is put together and your kid's bed is put together so the mattresses aren't on the floor, you're staying at a fucking concert. Lead me down the road of my thoughts about that whole thing. She went through a time with her ex-boyfriend, this long-term ex-boyfriend that she told me about, where, I get it because I went through it with number 4, where it was off and on and off and on, and we would separate for like 2-3 months at a time. And yeah, and I would go, we weren't married, but, hey, I would date, and then I would end up sleeping with somebody. She probably slept with like 10 people. But here, this girl with her long-term boyfriend, they broke up. And she ends up sleeping with a guy that she'd never slept with before. She never slept with this guy before when her and her boyfriend were together. Apparently, this guy contacted her while on Facebook while her and her boyfriend were together, like a year or so ago, something like that. Had contacted her, and she let him know that, hey, she had a boyfriend, all this other stuff. Next thing you fucking know, she even tells me about it. That, and again, I stored this stuff and I just kind of watched for signs of these kinds of things. She ends up contacting the guy when her and her boyfriend break up at some separation, whatever. She goes and sleeps with him. I don't intend to make it sound so just fucking hoary and slutty, but I don't know all the details. They end up hooking up. They end up sleeping together. Then she ends up getting back with her boyfriend, and she ends up telling him that she slept with this guy that he had accused her of sleeping with. So it was almost like she fucking did it out of spite. Like she went and slept with somebody that she had never slept with before, even though the boyfriend, I know it sounds kind of fucked up, the boyfriend was accusing her of sleeping with this guy before she had ever slept with him. Then they break up. She goes and sleeps with the guy, then comes back and tells her boyfriend that she slept with the guy. Again, I just kind of fucking stored some of this stuff and I kind of kept it in the back of my mind. Well, yeah, and now apparently they're friends. Her and this guy are still friends. Weird thing to me. Because it's clear what the intention was there, right? How can you remain friends and date and get into a serious relationship with somebody and still be friends with this person when you know that his sole intention is to want to fuck you? It's kind of weird. So anyway, I kind of got a weird feeling about her and her boss. The fact that he was inviting her to come stay at the house that he was staying in and things like that. And I found it all too convenient that she was wanting to separate from me literally the day before she was going to Austin. And I came to a realization, it's like, wow, is she trying to clear her conscience? So that way she can stay friends with me, not ruin all of that, go and do whatever the fuck she's going to do, and to potentially have an opportunity to try to come back? Like, you got to realize when you do shit like that in your life, that you can't be surprised when people actually think that that's something you might do. You did it in the past, apparently, a couple times. And so in my mind, and that's part of the reason I'm telling you, I'm not going to remain friends with you because I'm not a fucking yo-yo. I even have that in the text message. I'm not going to be a yo-yo. I won't allow that to happen. So anyway, fast forward, clearly I wasn't getting my fucking point across to her. So, and then on Thursday night, she was very clear to request that I not unfriend her or block her on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that because she still wanted to be able. I'm like, wow. Like, that's what you're fucking concerned with. Very disturbing to me. Very fucking disturbing to me. That like you would actually request that. So Saturday, I was just like, look, I don't need you fucking on my page. I don't need you liking my posts and watching my stories and all this other bullshit. So I unfriend her, and on Facebook and Instagram, she can no longer see my shit, but yet I still see she's looking at it and everything. So come Sunday, I go to pick up my tools, and she wants to talk. And I said, no, I'm not interested. I need to go. And I was recording the whole thing. I had my phone in my pocket recording it just for posterity purposes, just in case anything was said or done, I would have the fucking recording. So I told her, no, I'm good. So I go to get my stuff. I get my toolbox and dolly that I had over there. I load it in my truck, and she goes, and my truck's parked across the street, and she said, well, at least, can I have a hug? Can I have a hug before you leave? And I said, absolutely not. I'm good. And I get in my truck and I leave. So that's Sunday. Well, I finished a bunch of shit. So Sunday night, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have a notification on my phone that she has liked one of my posts on Instagram. Of course, I see her name pop up, and immediately it's like almost like a panic attack. You're like, what the fuck? So I text her and I'm like, hey, what's your intention here? Well, I hope we can still, and she texts me back, I hope we can still remain friends and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I've made that clear to you. No, I said I unfriended you on Facebook and Instagram specifically for that reason, that I don't think we can remain friends because you only see the world from one version, yours. You really don't care to understand what anybody else thinks or feels. Which only thing you care about is that what everybody else understands how you feel, and that you feel as little sadness and pain as possible. You want to make sure everybody understands your sadness and pain, so it doesn't make you feel so sad. I don't want to be involved in that. And then she follows up with, well, I really hope she's like, please don't trash me on your show. And that was because that's not the first time that's been asked. Please don't trash me on your show. As I've never mentioned her name here. You won't ever hear me mention her name. It's like my exes. I'm not going to mention their names, but again, that's where your fucking mind goes. You're not concerned with what I think about you or how I feel about you. You don't want me to trash you on my show so other people don't gain an opinion about you. You want to maintain some semblance of friendship so that you don't have to accept full responsibility for the things you said or did. You want to be able to tell people around you that, oh, we're still friends and we still talk and all the bullshit. You don't want me to unfriend you on Facebook and Instagram so you can monitor and watch the things that I do. And somehow keep some kind of hook there with the, that whenever you feel like it, whimsically, you'll reach out and see if I want to hang out. If all I wanted in life is fucking sex, I could just have that. If that's all I fucking cared about, I could just have sex. I'm looking for a relationship, and I certainly don't need to feel like I'm in some fucking cycle of drama. I've had that. Believe me, I've had that. I don't need the other bullshit. And so, anyway, what was funny is I had already recorded a show where I had discussed her in general, but not her specifically. And I knew it was going live because we were texting early yesterday morning, and I know the show was already going live. And I'd said to her, I said, and that's where the last thing I said to her was, you made all of your decisions clear and what your list of priorities were when you decided not only to go to Austin when you knew it bothered me, but also to stay a second day when you knew I needed my tools. It was very inconsiderate and very disrespectful. And her response was, I didn't do anything wrong. The only reason I would have come home on Saturday would have been to spend time with you. She still wasn't getting the other part of the generosity and repaying the generosity with a request that I'd made. Again, I don't do something with the expectation that I get something in return, but if I make a very specific request and I have been generous, there's usually the expectation that request would be met. Here it wasn't. It was just completely fucking put to the side and imagined as if it wasn't made. And that sucks. It's fucking horrible. I don't like that. So I said to her, look, I hope that you enjoyed yourself and that it was worth it. We all make our choices. And about 5 minutes after the show went live. knowing that she had just asked me not to talk, not to trash her, that knowing she was going to be watching the show and that something would pop up. So anyway, so to kind of clear all the air on a lot of that shit, again, not angry with her, none of that. I know everything I've just said might sound a certain way. It's just the way my brain works. I'm just getting all the details out there. But in no way am I angry with her. I'm disappointed. I think that's probably worse. I'm disappointed in her, severely disappointed. Not angry at her, I'm disappointed. About the way she handled everything, about the way she went about certain things. I'm just very, very disappointed. I did expect more from her. My mistake. So, anyway, that's kind of the backstory on all that stuff. I know I've had a lot of questions about shit over the past couple weeks. Different issues. I've talked to some of my friends and family about certain things that were bothering me over the past couple weeks with her. And just didn't know how to address them with her. Specifically the drinking. The drinking was a big thing for me. There was a lot of drinking. Which sucks. So anyway, Sober October, thought was pretty cool. She wouldn't participate in that. That was kind of tells you a little bit of something. Like, you got your partner and all of his friends are participating in this Sober October. You'd think that you would. No, fucking refused. But I will say for me, making those slight changes I talked to you guys about in the gym, just upping my water intake, doing a little bit of cardio at the gym every single day, sitting in the sauna every single day, I'm actually down 5 pounds. Usually somewhere around 200, 202 pounds. Consistently been weighing myself past few days at 195 pounds. So, pretty fucking cool. Little changes. Doesn't take a whole lot. Should be encouraging for a lot of people out there. Doesn't take a lot for you to implement some pretty impactful changes in your life. Just little things. Like I said, extra 15 minutes of cardio at the gym, 15, 20 minutes in the sauna. every day. It helps with the fucking joints and everything too, so that's awesome. Feels great. But anyway, guys, I got to run. Thank you guys. Thank everybody. Hey, it's so great that I get so much love and communication from people all the time. I really appreciate it. The yesterday with the Facebook shutdown and the Instagram and WhatsApp and Oculus and everything like that, it was so funny because there was like 6 or 7 hours where I didn't get any messages from anybody. And it was like shit was like stored in the system. And as soon as that, like the systems came back up, it was like this flood of fucking messages were coming through and posts and shares, this and this and this, all this other stuff. And it's like, wow, it's a lot easier to take in when it's all spread out over hours. But when it comes in, it's like 100 or so messages, 200 messages, in the span of like 2 minutes when the systems came back up. So it was kind of fucked up, but anyway. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything. You guys have always been fantastic. I love you all so very much. I appreciate all the love and support. And as you guys saw, getting everything ready in the studio. Got one of the mic stands and mics mounted on the table. I'm going to continue to do everything here until next week when I will finally move this stand and this microphone, go to a different cable. I've got a big processor and a whole bunch of other stuff that's in there. So it'll be a pretty different little setup, but kind of excited. So anyway, cannot wait to show it to you guys. Everything that's going to be in there. It's going to be pretty fucking cool. Excited about it. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for everything. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.